to meet the market demand.
Now, the ILAM Fahari Real Estate Investment Trust, popularly known as ILAM I-REIT, has today been admitted to the unquoted securities platform, or the USP, of the Nairobi Stock Exchange after a thorough restructure. This comes after a regulatory approval in February this year to delist the REIT from main investment market segment, which involved converting it from an unrestricted vehicle to a restricted one, meaning that only professional investors with more than 5 million units could trade, with retail investors' units bundled into a nominal account. This move is expected to offer increased flexibility and growth potential despite the challenges faced in the industry. Our reporter Nicole Njuguna joins us with the details.
The ILAM Fahari I-REIT has just been admitted to the unquoted securities platform of the Nairobi Stock Exchange. And I'm sure you're wondering, what is that? What is the significance? And what does this mean for investors and Kenyans at large? Joining me right now is the CEO ILAM, Einstein Kihanda, Mr. Einstein Kihanda, to explain to me what this means and what the significance of the admission into the NSE means. Thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on the admission into the NSE. But for the purpose of our viewers who may not know what a REIT is, please explain to us what a real estate investment trust is, as well as the significance of the admission.
Thank you. So a real estate investment trust is a vehicle that allows investors to pool their resources together and invest in property. So to make it even simpler, it's more of similar to what you call, you have as chamas, where people pool their resources together and make investments. So the structure that we have for REITs is similar to what you have in unit trusts, where investors pool their funds and invest in various securities like money markets, equities, bonds. So REITs is it's a similar vehicle, but this specifically invests in property. So investors are able to pool their resources together and invest in REITs. The ILAM Fahari I-REIT was the first REIT that was listed at the NSE in November 2015. So it has been in the market for several years, actually about almost 9 years. But what it has happened is that it's undergone a restructuring process in order to address challenges that the REIT has faced over the years, with a view to repositioning it in the market. So the significance of this admission is that we started a restructuring process about 3 years ago, which culminated in us redeeming units from non-professional investors last year. And ultimately, it was delisted from the main investment market in February this year. So the importance of the event today is that it has now been admitted to the unquoted securities platform, which means that it will provide an opportunity for investors to continue to provide some level of liquidity. We are back in the Nairobi Security Exchange, but at a restricted level. And this is with a view to giving us time to undertake the restructuring that was necessary, but still providing an opportunity for investors.
You talked about the restricting. What does this mean for retail investors who would be willing to tap into the market?
By restricted, what it means, it is restricted to professional investors who have investments valued at above 5 million shillings and above. What we've done is that for investors who have less than units of 5 million, especially those who are particularly those who are already investors, we have what you call a bundled vehicle, a nominee account, where investors would pool together, and therefore trades that are at 5 million shillings and above can then take place. So that is really effectively what it means, is that it is professional investors who can trade. But for non-professional investors, they would have to pool together to get to the level where for the threshold for the professional investments valued at Kenya shillings 5 million.
What are some of the opportunities or advantages that lie in REITs, especially for investors in the country, in regards to real estate infrastructure development?
I think there are quite a number of opportunities because, as I said, the REIT is simply a vehicle. The importance is actually the underlying investments. So the fact that you can be able to pool resources together means that there are resources or there's a pool of investments available so that people can be able to undertake those investments. So the bigger the size, the more the opportunities that one can be able to undertake in terms of whatever properties. It could be because REITs also offer opportunities for investment in income-earning properties, and also for development. We can also invest in terms of other property-related sectors. So I think what I would say is that it provides an opportunity for investment in various sectors of the economy. It could be the industrial properties. So the opportunities are limitless. And we are actually seeing over the years the growth in terms of the real estate investment trust. And we expect that they will continue to play a very important role in the development of the property sector in this country.
All right, even as we wind up, we are witnessing a bit of a slump in the real estate development in the country. So then how can investors protect their investments in regards to this?
I think, well, the property sector is also a reflection of what happens in terms of the economy, because it reflects the pulse of what is happening in terms of the economy. So how we look at it from a property segment subsector, one is to ensure that you retain or enhance the quality of the properties that you have, because the quality of the properties, especially issues to do with maintenance and refurbishment, those are very critical. And as a REIT, those are some of the things that we've been embarking on in order to ensure that we keep our properties at optimal level so that you can continue to attract good tenants. Because at the end of the day, what you are selling, you're selling space, and you want to be able to ensure that you're providing your tenants with a very quality product. So you have to make sure that you continue to keep it in optimum conditions so that you can be able to ensure that you're earning a return. It's also very important now, I mean, you have seen the effects of climate change all across the world. So it is also very important for properties to also invest in going green. For instance, in terms of energy savings, we recently completed solarization of our flagship property. So, and we are also embarking on solarization of our other properties. So those are all efforts that we need to undertake to ensure that, one, you are in line with what is happening in terms of the world, and keeping your properties within the compliance with environmental sustainability, in order to continue to attract investors and tenants to our properties.
All right, so then what should we expect from the ILAM Fahari I-REIT going forward?
I think going forward, now that we have achieved a significant milestone in our research process, what we are now undertaking is provide the foundation for us to be able to grow the REIT. We have very ambitious plans to grow the REIT. So what you can expect is that we will be having a pipeline of investment opportunities we'll be looking at. You can expect that there will be a lot more investment in growing the property portfolio, and we'll be sharing a lot more information with investors in the days ahead, so that ultimately we can be able to grow this REIT and enable it to achieve the returns that were promised and expected from the investors. So there are good times ahead, and we look forward to sharing a lot more of this information with our investors in the days ahead.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Thank you very much for joining us, and you can be sure that we will bring you more comprehensive information about REITs in Kenya. Back to you in studio. I'm Nicole Njuguna.
All right.